Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas, and today's surfboard review is on the Black Vulture 2 by Chilli surfboards. Now I've got two boards. They're both in the signature Twin Tech EPS epoxy construction. This is a custom 5.5 and this is a stock 5.6. Remember, I'm 5'9" and 165 pounds. This is going to be fun. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show. So let's start with the board attributes. Chilli's calling the Black Vulture 2 a groveler, and when I look at the outline, I would say it fits the groveler category to the eye real well. I want to start with the rail. When I put it under my arm and I hold it in my hand for 2 5/16, I would say the rail feels medium. Now, not a flat deck, not too domed. They're distributing the foam real well. Now the wide point, I would say, is a little forward from center. And this is what I'm talking about in the groveler category. It's pretty typical that they shove the foam forward, making it a great paddler. It has a wider nose. So the board's carrying good speed, and for you guys that surf a lot of beach breaks or mushy waves, this wide nose is going to carry good speed through those flat sections. Now, one of the things I noticed is the generous sweet spot under the front foot. What do I mean by that? Well, when I pop to my feet, if I hit the sweet spot, it's money. But if I miss it, I usually miss it with my front foot being a little back. So my stance is a bit narrow, and when I stand back from the center or the sweet spot, it's still carrying good speed. I'm getting precise turns and the board feels stable. Now, one of the main things that I read in the Chilli website, since I never had the privilege of writing the original Black Vulture, the Black Vulture 2 was something they wanted to carry with more speed. And now I have to talk about rocker. Now I wouldn't say it's overly flat, but it's low to medium entry and low to medium exit rocker. I noticed the speed on this board from the second I stood up on a right, the thing just took off. Now the other thing that's really important for me is when I talk about it being a groveler to the eye, yeah, maybe from here forward. But from here back, it doesn't look like a groveler to me. Now there's nothing real trick in the tail right here on the outline, right? But what I like is how they foiled out the tail back here. I like my board sensitive. What I want to do is I want this to sink quickly so I can get the board right up in the pocket without a lot of effort. And that's how this board felt. So let's look at the bottom contours. I'm all the way at the nose here and I can already see some single concave. And as I get going back towards the middle of the board, it's definitely getting deeper. I'll run my finger back here so you can see it, but I would say it's moderate. And as I get back in here towards the fins, I'd say the last third, right in here, it's running a very subtle double concave through the tail. Now, one of the things I noticed about this single to double, not only is the board fast, but it rolls over on rail and it had great flow in small waves and in waves that were overhead. Now I want to talk about the fins I chose. We had great waves for this entire review. It was actually hard to find waves that were smaller that we could grovel on. And I still don't think we did any groveling by any stretch. However, I started with the Almeric Twin plus stabilizer. And my thoughts here is the waves are good. It's got this wider nose. And if it's going to catch up here, how can I get into the lip quick without this catching? So that's why I started here. Now it does have a large base. It's pretty upright, so it's going to pivot, and it's got a refined or thinner tip, so it's going to give me that release. My thought was then, will it have enough drive? So after the first session, the board was going so fast and it was pivoting quick. I thought, how can I tone it down now? So it never had a problem catching up here with this set. And then I thought, what else could we run that would give me a little bit more drive and tone it down and give me control? I'm not saying the Almeric Twin Plus trailer didn't feel good. I just felt like the board was going so fast that I could slow down and maybe have a little bit better carves and sit in the pocket a little bit better. And so I put in the MRs. Now, what I really liked is putting in this fin, I could hold my carves a little bit better because it has a bit wider tip and maybe a little bit more rake. And it really didn't matter which Twin Plus trailer set I put in there. The board was going incredibly fast. Now, I've reviewed quite a few boards that have a similar outline to the Black Vulture 2. However, what separates this board from all the rest is that this board's carrying incredible speed, and it's given me performance turns that I would get from maybe a daily driver, or even at times it felt like I was riding a high performance shortboard. So with that being said, we got a bigger swell came in, and I thought, okay, I'm going to take it off the Twin Plus trailer and I'm going to go to a thruster set. Now this is my signature fin. This is a rake template, and it has that large base, medium fin depth, and I still ran a smaller center fin. And one of the things that I really liked about pairing it with the thruster is I had a bit more control. The board handled overhead waves exceptionally well. So much to my surprise that I'm going to pull this board out of the groveler category. A lot of you guys ask me all the time, I want a groveler board that will work good in small waves, and then I also want a board that will go good in like 5-6 feet and really progress your surfing getting into the lip. Needless to say, the Black Vulture 2 is a favorite of mine. I also believe it could be one of the fastest boards in this category, whether we're talking groveler, daily driver. This board can pretty much do it all from my perspective, and it really doesn't matter what fin template or fin setup I ran in it. Now, obviously the Twin Plus stabilizer is giving me more speed compared to the thruster, and I recommend running a thruster set if you're going to surf bigger waves and really carry this board as a one board quiver. Now I want to talk about both boards in the Twin Tech EPS epoxy construction. Since we had such great waves and the board's carrying so much speed, I'm looking to keep the rail engaged. So I found myself for the bulk of the review riding the custom 5.5. Now I talk about EPS epoxy from my experience all the time being a bit more topical on top of the water. So I want to keep this 26.06 liters engaged when it's really feeling like it's floating about 26.5 liters. So if we take the stock 5.6 at 27, that's going to float more like 27.5. And what I'm trying to do is actually manage the speed this board has in bigger waves. Now, the Twin Tech construction, I really like the pop and the projection and the predictability. Now, where it's getting its strength from is the carbon tape placed on both the bottom and the top, kind of giving it that torsion, flex, and control, and the rebound. And from my experience, usually I don't enjoy riding EPS epoxy boards in bigger surf because they're hard to control. Now, I did ride it in overhead surf with some texture on the surface, and the board felt great. So let's look at some waves together. This is the Almeric Twin Plus trailer. You can see the board going rail to rail, real smooth, getting over that section, finishing it strong. I really felt like the board has a lot of projection, and the Twin Tech construction offers that pop in projection I'm looking for in small waves. Now this last little wave, you can see the wave's a little bit mushy, but the board's carrying good speed, able to finish strong. So on these overhead waves, with a little bit of texture on the surface, you can see the Twin Tech construction still giving me good traction, able to push hard. Look at the board projecting over sections. That's the Almeric Twin Plus trailer, still having good hold. Now this little left, I'm now riding a thruster. You can see the board slowed down a little bit, but still surfing it right in the pocket, exactly how I want to surf it. That wave was a little bit mushy. And here the thruster set, look at the hold with all that speed on a nice clean face. This wave felt great, able to get one last carb and finish it strong. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's review on the Black Vulture 2 by Chilli Surfboards. I'm calling it a one board quiver, best for that intermediate all the way to pro level surfers for performance surfing in 1 to 6 foot surf. Special shout out thanks to the folks at Chilli for sending these boards in for review. And if you like our show, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.